All right, should be live. Hey Ishi, was ist los mit dir? All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube eventually, that reminds me I need to publish last week's. But they've been uploaded. I just got to publish them. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to comment. We respond to them, or at least we give you the little thumbs up. And subscribe if you don't mind. I haven't checked metrics lately, but I could have sworn that we're doing pretty good on the subscription front. Let me double check. I'll look real quick. YouTube Studio. Hey, Chancellor. These metrics real quick. Ishi, thank you very much for the sub. 25 months.
No stupid joke this time.
Maybe not from you, but I'm sure I'll be making one. Midgard. Things are going good. Just sort of rolling into it. And thank you for 30 months. I burned my finger on the way in. It was about 30 or 40 minutes before the stream started. Burned the crap out of my finger. But as Jocko is fond of saying, good. Because I burned it on the damn the coffee warmer I've been talking about forever. Hey Shifty. Right, the little, all it is a hot plate. Super dangerous. And it doesn't have a pressure plate, so if I take the coffee off, it doesn't turn off or anything. And it's just got this very easy sort of push, not like a button or a switch. You just tap it with your finger. It's a horrible design. Now that I have it in here, I've been kind of scared that I was going to leave it on, so I tend to unplug it. This morning when I was in grabbing something, I saw that it was accidentally turned on when I was working on something. I looked over and it was accidentally turned on, but it was turned on to like the cool setting. I was like, oh shit, I should probably unplug that. And then I didn't. And so about 40 minutes ago before the stream, I was reaching to grab something and I just brushed it with my finger in a like instant fire and looked and it was turned to max. So good. I'm glad that I burned myself. It's a good lesson. So if I continue to use it, I'll have it unplugged. The only time I use it is for streams. So I'll have it unplugged, plug it in for stream, unplug it. And I'll strongly consider whether or not it needs to stay in the arsenal here. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Chaos Flux, Teflon Don, MMO Pug. Good morning, everybody. Justin said, when I was a kid, I accidentally touched a hot coal from a campfire. So painful. Yeah, it's good learning moment. How was the trip? Trip was really fun. Trip was good. Spent half of it with my mom, half of it with my dad, and like one day at the water park before we left. Weather was fantastic. So it was basically as hot as German summer there. Those of you that are maybe noticing that I look kind of weird in here, we're doing a lot of character changes. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the update, the monthly update that went out. Lots of character changes at the moment. Folks on Friends and Family, or in Friends and Family, probably aren't seeing these changes yet. I think we haven't pushed them. We're trying to get everything fixed. So, end of the jockstrap era, yeah. I think it was Zukin that painted the Jordans, the boxer briefs. And we've just got a lot of stuff going on. If you've been watching Zukin streams, and if you haven't, you should, and you can check out the VODs. Been watching Zukin streams, you've probably been seeing some of the player character stuff come online. Different proportions, which I think it's been re-rigged, and Erkenstaff has that in his possession now. And then a lot going on the texture side. Hey, Pattis. Yesterday was cool. Pattis had me in to speak with his class, or one of his classes. That was for me, that was a lot of fun. The children's are the future. SI water. All right, so I'm mainly an editor at the moment, just so that we've got some ambiance in the background and the music's playing. At some point, I may need to see what's changed. It feels like the spawns have changed here. I see very few Ashira these days. Is it just you, or does the character model have fairly long arms? I could have sworn there was a comment about that in Slack. Feel free to hop into Zukin's stream and bug him about it. Arms look more proportional, you're happy. Were you the one talking about Popeye arms before? Yeah, okay, perfect. There you go. We did that just for you, Chaos. Shifty said Zukin knows that one. I remember him commenting on it. I thought I heard something as well, so cool. I thought, because I think he was, maybe it was him that was mentioning, somebody in Slack was mentioning that if you look at where the hands end now, let alone if the arms were extended, it'd be even more noticeable. So, oh, I don't know if you noticed, but I've taken my chair, my computer chair, which was reclined like one notch, and I've just made it a lot more upright. I've adjusted my lumbar support so that. And I'm even with the changes, I'm still trying to slouch. I've noticed that on streams I slouch. Right? And it makes me look like this I'm like a little pot-bellied pig. And I swear, that's not what I look like in real life when I'm standing up. So I think it has to do with this goofy ass computer chair that I'm in. So no longer laid back. Yeah, that's right. I am no longer laid back. It's getting serious this year. All right, so we've got music playing, ambiance. Our guards are looking funny for the time being, but so be it. Those of you that weren't here, let me go find some art for you to look at that's on the player character side, and those of you maybe that didn't watch the previous VODs or whatever that are watching this one. Let's get into some art discussion. Let me show you some top secret stuff from behind the scenes. How about that? Which again, I think if you've been watching Zukin streams, you've probably seen all this stuff, but I like the blab. Let me hit this with a little reminder. I like Slack because you can set minders. You can set reminders. Remind me about this in 3 hours. Thank you. I got a question for goblins. Yeah, it's not just art that's being reworked, there's some tech support that's going on. Will you have to virtually sign an NDA, Justin asked? Did you not see it on the way in? You didn't see the quick splash of NDA on the way in? Nothing you see here is don't discuss it with anyone. Actually, that's shitty marketing. Please discuss it with everyone. That's why you're here. You're here to be ambassadors for us. Random enchanter pet just walking around over there. Yeah, so there's some stuff. There's some stuff that's not working in this build. Wonder if Ollie's aware of all of it. Because I'm only really aware of the fact that we got some funky stuff going on with the characters at the moment. Because it's how we render the textures and everything is like being redone. So we've been seeing some wild stuff behind the scenes. Open, new window. Things like this guy. Pretty wild. Excuse me. This was this was an improvement. How do you feel about mobs that are hostile to each other and fight organically in the world? Valheim does that, and it's a cool addition. We do it as well. We've got it going on in different places. So, one of the things I was just saying was I don't see as many Ashir in the zone. Let me see if something's changed with regards to the Ashira's the encounter tables that the Ashira were on. So let me find Night Harbor and let me load the spawners. Though I think they're just called newbie. So let me hop into the database really quick. But my phone's blocking my ability to see these little doodads on the bottom here. So NPC spawn group. I'm forever going to refer to it as an encounter table. We probably should have just named it encounter table. Noob. Now they're just really rare. So, Brandon Nemo. These guys here, the Ashiras, they've got like a 2 and a 5% chance of spawning. When they do spawn, these invisible skeletons that are walking around right now, again, builds a little wacky today. They go at it. So the skeletons and the Ashira like to beat each other up. Skeletons typically lose. I need to slow down and speak English. Who do we got here? We got Devious EJ. Hi, I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chatbots. Price is lower than any competition. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Does it work? Devious EJ, I know you're a bot, but I heard that bots are getting more conversational these days. Does this work? You know, it'd be really rad if the chatbots were just people. Like, I think they could probably, I don't know, it'd be harder to scale the operation, but it would be more interesting if Devious EJ was an actual, like, person that came in here and I'd be like, does this work? And I'd be like, yeah, dog. Let me show you my stats. I am the regional leader in bot sales for Bremen, Germany. The future of bots are people. That's the twist. That's what you're here for. I'm a very progressive thinker. All right, let's get Devious here. Let's go ahead and get them banned. Ban them. Bye-bye. Do your skeletons have 2 lower arm bones? Always frustrated me about the EQ models. Well, you know what? Any ordinary day, I would be able to tell you that by going and looking at a skeleton. But let me look. Maybe I can find them here and... Shit, as I'm saying that, I was like, while I'm looking to... Is weather broken as well? I'm gonna have to ping Ollie. Like, it seems like there's an awful lot of weirdness in this build. Maybe I got latest. Let me check again. Yeah, unless we've added the weather effect of California wildfire. Oh, and as I was going to say Unity and almost said Unreal again, it reminded me, Pattis clarified that the class I spoke to yesterday was a combo of their senior thesis class and their intro to Unity class. They had some good questions. It was really cool. Vibing with the fire look. As I look at it, I think it'll be something that's kind of an interesting aesthetic for another zone. All right, there we go. There's one of these guys. Can't see a skeleton, but... Justin lived through the Washington State wildfires. You could barely see anything. It was crazy. Another reason why he moved to Maine. I was in San Diego for one of the big sets. Is when I first got to San Diego. So like the first year I was there. When was that? 2001 or something? The one where it was like, you can see it from space. Basically, we looked out the window and everything was orange. And then we looked out and it was just like orange fog at noon. And everybody just walked out in the middle of the street looking around like, holy shit. And then the condo that I bought, was right across the street from where the Fires and Scripps Ranch stopped. And it was like this old ass condo from the 70s. So there's always that thought the whole time we lived there for like the next 4 or 5 years of, wonder if this thing's going to go up at some point. Quixana, thank you for the Prime sub. BDC Retro, where you're saying too soon to talk about forest fires? I don't know about that. I don't believe that. Human skeleton. Was that supposed to be a knoll? It wasn't. It's supposed to be a Shira. A knoll will look different once there's a knoll. I'm trying to find a skeleton to show you. Nope, that's not how that works. Can't zoom in, but I'm looking and I believe I see. I believe I see an ulna. Is it radius or is it radii? Anyways, I think I'm seeing 2 forearm bones. Since they're invisible currently in game. Quixana said, finally up early enough to catch a live after months of lurking on VODs. Thoroughly enjoying the development and looking forward to playing. Well, thank you very much for that. That looks like ulna only, no radius. I just think it's very hard to see because it's so small. See? See what I'm saying? They're both there. I know you take your arms very seriously, Chaos. All right. So there's been some work going on. And link. Open link. Open link. This is very in progress. But the team's working on things like facial hair and how that interacts with helmets and head doodaddies. Looking on chest hair. Yeah, there's likely to be chest hair. We've got the Beastmaster. Notice this is going to be alpha'd, right? We got Geo on the shoulders. If you go back and look at Goblin's concepts for the various class specific armors, you'll see where having the Geo for the shoulders. We've got Geo for shoulders. The mantle is actually Geo. Can't show it right now because the character is broken. Maybe if I hop on the test. You'll see that there's a little bit of move, a little bit of cloth physics on the edges of the mantle. We've got the capes. We've got the backpack and various attachments around the waist. So it's coming together, and then really just working on texture work. So this is all stuff that our newest team member, as mentioned in this last month's update, VGFX, who's in here a fair bit. VGFX, also known as Patrick, has been working with Zukin and Goblin and Ali to figure this stuff out. Geo on the legs, or perhaps boots. So there was a lot of discussion of it. The concern that I expressed with having just too much Geo was then we just get away from the old school look. So basically no Geo on boots or legs. The attachments around the waist area. No Geo on chest, I believe, until mantle. And shoulders. And then helms. And hands, wrists, arms, same deal. So it'll be drawn in instead of actually modeled. Let me see if I can find a picture. So Geo only on helm, shoulders, and chaos and attachment. Did we determine that dwarven women would have beards? It's one of those things that everybody always expects, so we'll have some beard options for the women. Jimster 40k getting hype for dwarf look off of this guy. Oh, right on. Have you seen some of the other? There's some images that are just Goblin's done one dwarven, I believe, cleric in an image that's just badass. So imagine that in this style. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's in Discord. Nicodemus, thank you for 17 months, buddy. Used to have an epic biker beard back in the day. So did I, Justin. I had a ridiculous beard. So you can see here, everything's drawn in, painted in instead of modeled. But where we've got essentially where this drapes down using the alpha and stuff gives us a little bit of variance here as well. And then you can see here that the forearms are just painted. And I could have sworn we had, I think some of this stuff was shown in the newsletter. I could have sworn. Do you not want to open? Weapon sheathing when not in combat? No, that's totally up to the player. We don't have a in combat, out of combat state. That's totes up to you. Trying to see if I can find. Could have sworn I had an image of, like, the full image of this dude dressed up as a guard. Oh yeah. That'll work. That'll do her. Nicodemus says, "Love the update. Well done. Thank you very much. The team did a lot of outstanding stuff." So we've got, you know, our guards look will be updated a bit, and then if you saw the update, there are a number of concepts that Goblin did for variation on these guys. And while there's a toggle sheath unsheath stance, which is good approach, Midgard said. Yeah, we can look at little toggles and stuff. I think it's fair. Here's the guy actually in game. So proof of life here. I don't know why somebody X'd out the gnome. How dare they? But yeah, so it was working, but like I said, we just made a bunch of technical changes. Was it John? It was probably John. John or Dargith. Trying to find that one set of concepts from Goblin. Can't wait to loot guard gear. Can't wait for you to be high enough level to do that. And here's some additional concepts. So, if I had to guess, Night Harbor City Guard, Bahara Associate, Red Mantle Associate. So, cool stuff. Alright, one new message. Let me go to it. Oh, it's just telling me that there's a reminder. If you could play a rogue looking like that, odds are you probably will be able to. Red guard looks like an elite guard for the shake. They're likely that looks associated with one of the factions within the Langsdorfian League in game. Jimster says, in keeping with classic feel, the guards are fully decked out in fashionable armor, but you can only lose their shield. What a tease. Is this? Yeah, so let me go ahead and disable this for now. All right, so I'm going to continue in terms of actual work, what I was thinking was I wanted to play with this. Let me put it in my things to do. I've been meaning to do this. Was I'll put a lower priority things to do, like things that screw around with later. I'm going to put in guard armor that drops but is damaged giving a faction hit.
Morning, all.
Hey Ventali, thank you for 3 months. The thing I was going to play with, and I'm not saying it's always going to be like this, but I've just been meaning to play with this idea for a long time, and you guys just reminded me of it. Is that I thought it might be cool to put in guard-looking armor off guards that you kill. You know, it dropped like other stuff, right? You know, it's a random piece drop. You're not going to kill somebody and get a full outfit. But you get a piece, but it's a damaged piece. Basically, it's like a battle-worn, you know, city guard tunic or something like that, right? Or a battle-worn, battle-damaged red mantle tunic. And when you put it on, it actually has, because this is the way that we could do it in our system, if I understand it correctly, I can put a faction debuff on it. And so it'll just give you a big faction hit to wear it around. And so if you roll up wearing a full set of bloody guard armor, then the guards are just gonna gank you. That said, we also want to play with disguises. So it could be that you also get versions of that armor that don't have the debuff on it, but instead have a faction buff. So we can play with both of those things eventually. Let me make a note to actually. A faction hit. Craft skill to fix broken armor to turn it into a disguise. Keep said, yeah, right? See? That'd be some nice interdependence. And then maybe you need a rogue to go steal some undamaged stuff to get the whole thing going or something like that. What if you could return damaged guard equipment to the guards for faction? Weasel Blighter, that's another good idea. Are you specifically using the faction system for religions as well? Just thinking about the same concept, but with religions sneaking in to conduct business. For the time being, that's the plan. We haven't done much with it. That's actually another item on my list. But it's the thought for now is just to use the existing faction system before we get any additional systems or anything built up for it. Turning it into opposing factions. Yeah, that might be a thing that you can do when the Ashira dungeon is alive as well. Very nice when items have multiple uses. Keep says helps drive the economy. We were just talking about that with regards to some quest items. And the quests I'm working on right now actually have multiple people that you could turn the item into, and some branching with regards to the faction and stuff like that. So, but we've been talking, Luna and I were recently talking a little bit about taking some of the quest items and providing, in some cases, just kind of one-off additional quests using the same items, which also allows us to provide even more world building using a single item. So you may know about the item because you're sent on it, sent on a quest by somebody who gives you some info related to it, And then you find out that there are other people that may want the same item, and they may give you different info. So. Chaos said, turning into opposite factions like dwarf heads, giant heads, or dwarf heads, turn-ins in Velius. Yep. Hello, C Jack, you big nerd. Oh, I was just thinking about you earlier because I had scrolled through Instagram and there was another restaurant in Stockholm that I need to recommend. I like them a ton. They're called the Hairy Pig, and they specialize in they do some, it's not super pricey, but they do some nice fancy Swedish recipes using wild game. I did not eat there until I think like Jasmine and I just stumbled into it. It's in Gamlastan. Stumbled into it. And maybe, no, I stumbled into it on my own because I was coming back from an appointment somewhere.
Still love all I hear said, music and all I see of the game. Can't wait to spend time in the world with my coffee cup.
That is very nice of you, No Man Stream. Appreciate the sub. Yeah, so I think I was on my way back from an appointment and I stumbled off the train in Gamlastan because I wanted something to eat. And I think I'd heard about it on Instagram or something like that before. Oh, cool. Here's an Ashira closer to the gate. All right. And I went in there and I was the only one there. This was like during the COVID thing and everybody was like not really going out. So went in there, wound up having the place to myself for the bulk of lunch, talked to the owner, super nice, and just had a great time. And the food was fantastic. And so that was the last place I ate when I left Stockholm. I was staying at a hotel across the street from the train station after I turned in the apartment, and specifically went there to just smother myself in food. So, yeah, they're really good people. And that night, it was just the first owner I spoke to was the husband, and then that night it was just the other owner who was the wife, and she was super nice. So, definitely check it out. They do some really cool traditional Swedish stuff. You can find them on Instagram, and you will see, if you go there right now, you will see some Swedish food on display. What they got? They are showing reindeer pan beef. So it's kind of like a reindeer base. What would you call that in German? That would be like a oh, damn it. Ishiwatara, are you still there? What's the little like beef and bread patty? It's like a tiny meatloaf. It's super normal in German. Anyway, let's see if you can see this. It's delicious. Ishwatara, you know what I'm talking about. It's super common. It's super common. It's just meat. It's just like frikadellen. Frikadellen. Ahoy. Thank you. Frikadellen. So. Which I don't know that we've got a... Do we have a similar thing in the US? Like just kind of a tiny little meatloaf? Personal little meatloaf? Alright, while you guys figure that out, I'm going to check our bug. Because that's what we were doing on the last 2 streams, and that's what we're going to do now. Beef and strimmies with béarnaise sauce. Look like that. Beef and strimmies? I don't think I've ever heard those 3 words together before. No Man's Stream. You know you can buy food and water in game. Don't have to order something in real life, right? Are you making fun of the fact that it's saying I'm dehydrated? You know, if you weren't such a creep and staring at my text, my chat box, you wouldn't have to see that, right? Weirdo. I thought I made myself some water a little bit ago. My backpack's all full of crap because of the excellent testing we've been doing. Oh, I only made myself 1. That was the problem. EQ pizza commands, Ventali asked. We don't want to be too derivative of other games, so we'll probably have an slash beef strimmy command. It'll be slash it'll be region specific. So for me it'll be slash doner kebab. So we have a bug here. Let me refresh and see if this bug is still valid. Slash beer for you. Not best at English. I thought for sure that was a very, very English thing. No Man's Stream. I had no idea that English was not your first language. I guess sliced beef with béarnaise, peppers, and onions. I just assumed that was like a fancy English dish that you're talking about. Was that a real thing or a meme? You could order a pizza using EQ chat. Chad the Alpha Male. I worked there during that period, and I honestly can't remember. I thought it was real. I thought it was a collaboration with Domino's. All it did was like take you, open their website. VGFX says it was real. VGFX, I was showing off some of the character stuff earlier. I don't know if you were in here. Alright, so tattered cloth robe doesn't work with the steam ripper. Let me see if there's a recipe there. Recipe. I don't want to show you all the recipes. So, cloth scraps. We got cloth scraps here for belt, cape. It doesn't look like there's one for robe, so we could do that. We can make one real quick. Duplicate the robe. Let me make sure I get the... I can't stand Domino's. You like everything else on their menu? I just heard the opposite from my... Who was it? I think it was my dad. My dad ordered a bunch of stuff and didn't like any of it but the pizza. Stout Tea, thank you very much for your prime. It was very real, as well as the in-game MP3 player. MP3 player I remember. It was just, I was trying to remember if slash pizza opening a window was a figment of my imagination. You got to understand, I was doing a lot of Red Bull in those days. I had a real problem. That entire period is a bit of a blur. I was always jacked up on the Red Bull. Red Bull and Frappuccinos. Oh man. That's the frozen thing, right? I would get these giant ass Frappuccinos. I'm smashing Red Bulls. I'd go, especially before I made it on the team, I managed my stress with like whatever the like 164,000 ounce Pepsis from 7-Eleven with like 8 squirts of cherry in it. I was not in the most healthy state. So, but then I discovered mountain biking in San Diego, and it helped me get it together. Chaos Flux said, in discussion with items in game, what I really liked about P99 was that items were readily used throughout different expansions, and the fact that there was no level requirements besides procs, which made the items even more renowned. Yeah, I think everybody on the team is on board for that as well. I think we like that approach. What was I doing? I was looking up. All right, so we'll do robe here. Yeah. And then the bug probably even says it. Tattered cloth robe. Everything else is tattered as well? Recipe component. Yep. All right, then we'll just do this. We'll grab tattered cloth robe. Because I'm assuming I'm not missing it, right? Nope. All right, so don't see robe here. Shoulders, necks, legs, head, hand, forearms. Beats, faces, capes, belts, arms. Duplicate row with key. Do this number. Oops, I'm doing it wrong. Let me cancel this. Cancel editing. Duplicate row with key. Rename this to, well. Yeah, I know. Cancel editing. Recipe. Robe. Grab this. Go here. Duplicate this. Insert that. Take these guys. Take this. Grab this. Put it here. Oh, doorbell. I'll be right back. All right. Where are we at? Cool. And then grab this guy, Duplicate row with keys. All right. What are you guys talking about? You're talking about Hawaiian pizza, fair enough. 6-pack of Jolt Cola and half a box of Vivarin? Vivarin was your favorite way to stay awake for gaming? I kind of remember. Was that in a green bottle? Vivarin? Let's see. DJX said, oh wow, on Curie we had a whole rule about don't create functionality in the game client they could be using an external service for, like voice chat, etc. But then EQ is out there doing the exact opposite, just adding random extra functionality. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that rule makes sense. Sometimes it's no fun. It's not as fun. All right, so I need this guy and a seam ripper and a sewing kit. Let's reload the data. As I said, if you're just tuning in, or if you just tuned in a little bit, as I run around or if I look around, and you notice there's just some funky stuff going on with characters, and I also notice like there's just some weird stuff going on today. Just realize we're in the middle of a big tech change on the character side. I was showing off a little bit of concept, and then work in progress is essentially where we're heading with the character art. But in order to get there and update the way that I guess we render and some stuff like that, well, sometimes you gotta break things before they work the way you want them. Ventali asks, has the skybox always looked like that? For quite a while now. Very pretty. Cool. Did I reload the data? Let me do this again just in case. Ventali said, damn. There's something about sitting in a dark office with a bunch of folks working on something they love, smashing Red Bulls, coffee, taking out, and takeout that just sounds amazing, as they say. I say that as someone who fortunately works remote and enjoys a quiet, bright office and minimal noise. I'm in the latter camp these days, but when I was young and aggressive and thinking that I was gonna own the universe, and if I just crunched hard enough, yeah, it was pretty good times. It was wild and stressful and crazy and fun. And sometimes it really sucked, but definitely wouldn't trade it. VGFX says it's really close to being there. We're in the process of putting all the previous looks back in with the new system. Fighter plate and Langsdorfian plate should work unless Dukin didn't commit. He may not have committed. I've gotten the latest in, and we still got a little bit of like the ICP meets Twilight Zone effect going on, but I know it'll get there. What are we doing? Sewing kit, right? Do I have one? I've got a survival kit. Destroy. Destroy. What is this? Team Ripper, don't destroy. Oh, that's convenient. Oh, but I gotta take it out of here. My inventory. I need like a delete all. Inventory delete all for testing. Cool. I guess now I can destroy this. SI sewing kit. That not it? Let me look. Item. Show all. Oh, it's tailoring kit, isn't it? Isn't it? Damn it. Hey, Rev Chumley. Don't remember drinking Red Bull during your EQ days? You do remember drinking balls, though? That was before Red Bull? What? Were balls before Red Bull? I thought they were after for some reason. But I am no balls expert. Oh, doorbell again. Another delivery. Be right back. Oh, man. Getting my high intensity interval training in. Oh. You know you're getting old when hopping out of a chair that fast. I'm like, the inside of my knees like, oh my god, what are you doing, dude? Damn it. I need to get back to jiu-jitsu soon. I found a place here that looks decent. I need my partner-assisted stretching. I need to work on my posture as well. All right. And that, so 2 deliveries, it's not even the stuff that I was waiting on. Both of those were for Jasmine. So I may have to hop up one more time. Sometime this week, they're delivering a tiny tree. Make sure you hydrate as well. Nicodemus says, as I got older, I learned the importance of work life, home life balance. If I could just go back and teach younger self that important lesson, I would have saved myself a lot of grief. You would have saved yourself a lot of grief, but would you be where you are today? That's the challenge I always face in thinking about the past. I tend to have no regrets. RAGRETS. Regrets. Like the tattoo. I have no regrets just because I just wouldn't have landed here in this very moment. So but I can definitely, I've got a never-ending list of dumb shit that I could do differently. All right, so the reason why that didn't work, those of you, I clicked combine and everything just disappeared, is because I didn't actually finish the task earlier, because I'm a dummy. So we have the recipe, we have the recipe components, but what are the recipe results? Apparently, nothing. Nothing happens. And, as a matter of fact, that's what happened. All right, so these scraps, we need an entry for that, and we're going to say, Go here. Recipe results. Lost scraps. It will return. What are these others returning? Legs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it seems fair to return too. Nick or somebody can change it if that doesn't seem good. Hit rows with keys. Put this in here. And you get a seam ripper back. Cool. Alright. Let's try this again then. Cool. Let's reload. Got no yogurts? Feeleth. Yogurts. You shouldn't dwell on yogurts. Just move on. DGFX said, I haven't been on the mat since right before COVID. It's been a bit longer than that for me. Oof. Last time I trained jiu-jitsu was Stockholm, at All-Star training facility. And my big regret from there is not spending more time trying to get into open mat and maybe getting a chance to roll with Hamzat. Sorry, why do I always say Hamzat? Hamzat. I think it's because it's like hazmat. Hamzat. But I used to watch those guys grow up all the time. They were always in there lifting when I was in there. They've got amazing grapplers there. Justin Beard, you should lift weights again. It's good for you. Churro dude, good morning. Is Sweden big on coffee? All I know about the Swedish metal scene. Yeah, Sweden's very big on coffee. The Swedes are very into coffee. And meatballs. True. Okay, it works now. You saw it work, so I can close out this bug. Or it's actually 2 bugs. Coffee and meatballs is not... No, it's not an awful combo. Get you some little lingonberries to go with the meatballs. Is Sweden big on coffee? Big laughs. Yeah, so CJack is in Sweden at the moment. Though CJack is like some rando Australian or something. So they're so into coffee in Sweden that they actually have a break at like, when is it? It's like 2 or 3 typically, called fika. And so at like 3, everybody would just stop working and go to the break room, and they would eat like pastries. Not the best pastries, I've got to admit. Swedish pastries, bit overrated. Even their samla or whatever it's called, not that good. Maybe it's just because I'm biased towards the amazing just display of carbs that exists here in Germany, but their pastries pastries are pretty average, as CJack said. So Swedes drink terrible coffee like it's the elixir of life itself, as CJack said. It's not terrible, but they've got like random coffee bars or cafes every probably 100 meters. The neighborhood I lived in was like coffee places, gyms, supplement stores. DJ said, I'm an Australian. We take our coffee very seriously. I'm sorry. Australians aren't allowed to take anything very seriously. You're not a very serious people. Just listen to the only accent sillier is New Zealand. And that's basically just hobbits that fled the mainland or whatever. Bolthart HS said, hey robot, I've never caught you live, but I wanted to let you know I love your EQ interviews. Nice. Especially with Jay Barbeau. I thought it was great to be able to show appreciation and learn about his great music. Well, thank you very much for that. I'm glad you're able to pop in. Those of you that don't know, if you like EQ, or if you like MMOs, or if you just like game development, as one person mentioned recently, they were like, hey, I like the interviews. I've never even played EQ. You can find them at Loving Robot on YouTube. And it's like 60 plus hours of discussions with people that made really cool games. Or most of them are still making cool games. Australians care about the quality of coffee. Swedes care about the quantity. But it's the opposite with beer. Because Australians have those big ass like paint cans full of beer. It's so crappy, but I like crappy beer, so I'm not picking on it. I mean, I enjoy it. But it's... I can make fun of Australians because I just looked at the metrics on our website, and really basically everybody in our audience is from the US, Canada, Germany, Sweden, but it's like 95% of you are from the US, so we can make fun of Australia. Either way, Swedes and Australians are both drinking to get shit. That is true. Swedes go extremely hard in the paint, as the kids said like 30 years ago. Every country I go to, the best coffee is always a random Italian or French person running a store. I think that's a stereotype. How dare you stereotype people? I finally had some Turkish tea at my barber the other day, and that was delicious. If you have a Mocha Master and it makes liters of coffee, you're on my good side as a Norwegian. No offense to Norway. I've only been to Oslo once for a weekend, and to me, Oslo just felt like a city that you may find outside of Stockholm. Mustang Spy, we are talking coffee. Aaron Gunn, good morning. I'm going to close out this bug now. I believe I've got it fixed. So no need for a comment. I'm just gonna close it. Probably need to record this somewhere. Let me start a new page, I guess. Do this. We'll call this publish 0.1.4.1. Delete. Delete. I would show you guys what I'm doing, but I can't show you any of our super secret website stuff. You can't be trusted with it. Admit it. You know it's true. I know it's true. Okay. Let's see. That's hilarious. You don't like Turkish coffee? Viola says, always gritty in your mouth. It looks so badass though. Anytime I see a little video showing somebody making it. The thing I was laughing at was No Man Stream said, I'm Trondheimish and talk like that about Oslo too. Sorry, Oslo, you are average. It's a very average feeling city. Felt very small. And I mean, Stockholm already feels small. Why am I in Germany, by the way? I am on a top secret mission. My wife is German, and when we were in Stockholm, I started working on M&M, and so we talked a little bit about where we wanted to go next and what I was going to do for work and this and that, and decided that it made sense to dedicate my time to M&M and being an awesome homekeeper. And so for the next bit, she's a dental surgeon at a clinic just right around the corner from us. While I say we're because of the team, while we're focused on the game and just kind of seeing what happens. Seemed fair. When she was in Stockholm, she lived with me for a good while and went to school. And so now she's returning the favor. That is why I am in Germany. I was originally in Germany for work. I came here to work at a German video game company in 2015. And then in 2018, I moved to Sweden for a few years. So a shop in Australia that makes donuts that are like cups and fills them with coffee. Want to fly there just to try that? See, that is the problem with Australians. Hey, Biggs. Don't think the site ending in hub is super secret. I don't know. I just don't show anything if it's web-based crap. Like Confluence and stuff like that. I'm not showing you. So content, it's funny. The session's 1 hour and 13 minutes in. I've addressed a total of 1 bug. Let's see. But that's how we roll here on this stream. Mainly here to chat with you. The problem with Australians is our ingenuity and inventiveness. I'm just picking here. I think Australians are amazing. I love the accent. My family lives in Florida. I was born in Central Florida, so the whole like everything wanting to bite, poison, stab, attack you in the wild seems pretty natural to me. So overall, Australia sounds cool. Never been there. Jasmine's been there once or twice. And she thought it was beautiful, and didn't get bit or attacked by anything. Is it hard to get around Europe if you only speak English? Boltar Both are. Sorry, I've been saying it wrong. Both are HS asked. No, not at all. And if you go to Sweden, it's really not hard at all. Just because the Swedes, for the most part, speak pretty awesome English. You were homeless in Fort Lauderdale for about 7 years ago. Does that count as being in Florida? Yeah, I mean, you were in Florida, dude. Australians are just crossed between Floridians and Brits. That I've never considered that before, but that makes perfect sense. I'm going to run over here, give you some different ambience. And then I'm going to write down what bug I fixed. And then I'm going to find the duplicate of that bug. And I am going to close it as well. Let me fly up here. All right. Different ambience. Australia? Fucking surfboards, sunny beaches, and happy people. It should be a law to let Norwegians live there for free in winter. But then you guys wouldn't be so rad, No Man's Stream. I think the winter really, it helps to shape the Scandinavians into really neat people. Fairly productive as well. Alright, so you guys are really good at indoorsy stuff like music, video games. Everything assigned to me. Let me find the other one. Tattered cloth robe, multiple issues. Does not break down the scraps. When repairing it, deletes the item and scraps without a pass-fail rule. Oh, so it can't be repaired either. Huh. Okay, so Zeitgeist 9,000. Thank you for 11 months. Alright, so I have to look into that. Let me come over here and say cloth robe can now be broken into scrap. Cool. All right. So I'm glad I checked this bug because it is different. So it says when repairing it, deletes the item and scraps without pass-fail rule. So that's probably a bug similar to the one I introduced a minute ago. So if we look, is there an upgraded fine cloth robe? Patch cloth robe, I assume they're talking about. Let's see what this recipe looks like. Blocka blocka. Needs 2 of those, 1 of those. What's the result? There isn't one. Mystery solved. We'll fix that. Masgas said, I would also like Norwegians who don't like our winter to be shipped to other parts of the world. Damn. Masgask, are you Australian? No Man's Stream, it sounds like Masgask is Norwegian. But doesn't want to hear your shit. It's tired of no whiners. I don't want no whining up here. In Norwich way. What game companies am I thinking of from Norway? Because CCP's in Iceland. What am I thinking about? Funcom. There we go. Damn it, I knew it because one of the guys I shared an office with during Shadows of Lucklin development, Lawrence, wound up moving to Norway to join Funcom. And he was hilarious, man, because he always had like a big ass dip in, like always spitting in a bottle. And you know, he'd be there's always a spit bottle in our office, so it's inevitable that he would confuse like one bottle with the other and drink from it and gag, and we'd all laugh as we're all high on the Red Bull. And anyways, like Lawrence was just hilarious. Some of the shit he said because he was from Kentucky. He is from Kentucky, but he listened to like Master P, and so I loved him to death. Being a hip hop kid from Alabama, I thought it was hilarious, man, because he's very, very grouchy. But during that period, he was the spell guy. So Lawrence did all the spells and like abilities and stuff for players and NPCs and everything during like for Shadows of Lucklin for sure. Anyways, he moved to Norway to work at Funcom, and then he was always posting these badass like Scandinavian pictures on Instagram. And so before I ever went to Sweden or whatever, I just had all these images from Lawrence. That was really cool. So that's the story there. That's why I should have known Funcom, but I totally forgot. Is there any other company there? Seems like mobile stuff's like a lot's out of Finland. I will leave if you shovel my roof so my house doesn't collapse when I'm gone, No Man's Dream said. I can't believe you don't have some fancy like Scandinavian heated roof or something. Is Sweden easy possible to integrate into for Americans who relocate there? Weasel Blighter said. I think honestly Sweden's probably the best European starter country you can go to. Or the best starter country for Europe you can go to. BGFX said almost worked on Secret World years back. Was stoked to move to Oslo. Secret World, so much cool stuff there. It was a bummer because every time I tried to play it, I just could not get into the control scheme, and it just didn't run on my machine very well. Right on, Shreddy Krueger. Oh, somebody gave us a compliment. Oh, it was Churro, dude. That was a good newsletter yesterday. I love the art and style of this game. Where rats were cool. Well, thank you. You guys need to open your newsletters. They're in your email. Open them up. We have a horrible open rate this month. What's going on with you guys? It'd be nice if you open them and click through. Got to pump our metrics. Make us feel good. Anyways, results. So, cloth. We want to have patch cloth robe. Yes. And is it just is that what it's called? Patch cloth robe? I'm assuming. Let's put it on here and see if that's a thing. Cool. All right. So that should have fixed that. There is a fine cloth robe. Let me double check on this though. Yeah. Okay. And so then we'll go back. Yep. Didn't dupe anything. Perfect. And what did I need in order to make that? I needed... two scraps and a tattered cloth robe. Alright, so... tattered cloth robe. I think I can fail on this, so... oops. I failed. I increased my skill. So I'm assuming it works now. That doesn't look correct. Oh, weird. That doesn't seem to be correct. Alright, so let me look at something really quick. I'm not ignoring you. I will check in a sec. So it's got AC. It's just missing a lot of other stuff. Okay, let me fix this really quick then. Pirate Ike said, I go to Sweden all the time for work. It's so easy to move to, but low-key I hate the food. That really? I thought Stockholm's food options were really decent. Maybe I'm just used to how shitty the options are in Germany. And I'm not speaking for Berlin. I don't know what you've got in Berlin or München or wherever. I'm just speaking mainly for Bremen. Hamburg's okay. Hamburg's good. Hamburg's not bad. I would say that Sweden still edges beyond there, especially if you like seafood. Or sorry. Yeah, I said Sweden. Okay. So I disagree with all of you on that point. I thought Stockholm had some really decent options. Bunch of prima donnas. Yeah, I'm a foodie. No, you're not. Stop it. Damn it, I'm already breaking my rule. Over the vacation, I was like, I'm going to come back, start streaming again. I'm going to be very straightforward. I'm not going to be sarcastic. I'm not going to try to be funny. None of that shit. I thought I did a good job of it the first week. I've already slipped. Thank you, Shreddy Krueger, for reading and opening and reading and clicking on the email. We're reading them on your website through a Discord link. Mask Ask, open the email. UK Rads 86 said, hey Sean from Kentucky about the... I'm not from Kentucky. I've lived in Kentucky though. I've lived there as well. I lived in Hopkinsville, Kentucky and Fort Campbell, Kentucky. About the newsletter. Oh, you're from Kentucky. Maybe. But then you've got an interesting name. For some reason, it seems to go to my junk mail in Gmail. Don't remember it always doing this. Might account for the click rate. It probably does. There's some stuff that we're supposed to fix that we just never prioritized fixing. Like something that we need to do to make us seem more legit in the eyes of Google or whatever. Okay, discussion of the Dune project at Funcom. Can people fail at crafting and get killed by explosions? Not yet, Justin. That's future. You're really hoping Dune isn't a reskinned Conan Exiles? Don't you mean a re-naked? I assumed you saying you weren't going to be sarcastic, which is sarcasm. No, I was being honest that time. Damn it. You clicked through on your phone. Clicking through on your phone's fine. Everybody get your phones out. Click through. You're from Kentucky. Oh, UK, University of Kentucky. Go Wildcats. Okay, I get it now. All makes sense now. Boo, Tennessee Volunteers, right? See, I told you I live there. Is that accurate? Did I do it right? Boo. Robot, I would miss your deadpan delivery. It's perfect. What? I thought I was being expressive. Shit. I thought you could read the expression on my face. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, man. That was an interesting joint. Hopkinsville, Kentucky was like the Wish version of Clarksville, Tennessee. Okay, there is a robe. I was like, there's got to be a robe icon in this piece. You grew up in Paducah, which is next to Possum Trot. Possum Trot, Kentucky. Do you know where Harlan, Kentucky is? Oh wait, that's not going to be a good color for the robe. Dirty old robe. Every time I read it, for whatever reason, I swear I hear like a I hear like a Pogues song in the background. Old dirty robe. ODR. I can see that. Dirty Old Town is a song. Corthin the Dwarf. Yes. Yes. We listened to it a ton during Christmas. So it makes sense. It's on the other side of the state. I've lived all over in Louisville now. Yeah, Harlan's. So a friend of my dad, when he was in Germany, when he was in the army, got in a fight with a few guys, and the story is that one of the guys pulled a knife, and my dad's friend was not somebody you would want to pull a knife on. So the story was that he took the knife from one of the guys and stabbed the guy. The truth might have been he just had a knife and stabbed the guy. He was the guy that gave me my first buck knife. So it's not like he didn't have a knife, I have to assume. But anyways, he went to Fort Leavenworth, and then he moved back home to Harlan, Kentucky. And so we visited him once, just once. And it was pretty gnarly. It was a interesting place. And so then didn't think anything of it. And then I was in the army with a guy who was from Kentucky, and I mentioned I'd been to Harlan. He's like, "Oh no, don't go there. Harlan. They call it bloody Harlan. It's dangerous. I'd never go there." And so that's how he talked. I'm not saying you talk that way, but that's how he talked. And so then later on, the show Justified with Timothy Oliphant, best known for his role in the wonderful show Deadwood. Like that show is based in Harlan. So. Will it be possible to get experience by casting spells, like buffing someone who isn't in a group? In Asheron's Call, if I remember correctly, you could level to end level just by buffing people. No, you're not going to be able to do that. Probably for that reason. Not saying that it's, not saying that there isn't some value, as Asheron's Call has illustrated. There is some value in being able to do that kind of thing. But I don't know that it works for us. But you do get the satisfaction of being a very rad human for buffing other people, which for me, when I played my cleric on Eridune, was enough. It was nice knowing I was just a good guy. Or gnome in this case. Quiet John and Dargith. Alright, so I fixed this bug as well. Tattered cloth robe can be upgraded. Let me add that to my list of accomplishments. So tattered cloth robes can be broken down. I don't know if I was supposed to make a recipe for every robe type. I don't think so. Let me check. Recipe. Robe. Like if we look at a patch cloth robe and then I look for components, is it used to be? Yeah, so I don't see a deconstruction for them. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, I should turn off. Oh, I did. I turned off notification sounds in Discord. I apologize again for that previous Tuesday where I had volume turned down and I couldn't hear the annoying It was a gnome thing, Dargith, don't worry. Do your skills level up on those buff casts though? Yeah, they should. For whatever that is. I don't know. What is that? It's not alteration, is it? Anyways, yeah, I mean, casting the spells going to increase your skill until you hit cap again. Tattered cloth robe can now be upgraded to patch. Patched cloth robes should work properly now. Wait a second. Did I make a fine cloth? Did I make a fine cloth robe on accident? That's not what we were shooting for. Bump. I probably did, didn't I? Freaking breaking the game. Now. Where the hell did I get a fine cloth robe then? Alright. Patch cloth. Let's look. Let's see if I broke something. Fine cloth. Needs a pattern. Nope. Oh, it's still in there. Okay. False alarm. I don't know where I got that then. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Alrighty. Next bug. Issues. Assign to me. Thanks, Patrick. I don't know where I got that thing. Someone's been questioned by the Night Harbor cards before. I can see that. Corthan said, I used to play that in an old Irish pub band about the Pogue song, Dirty Old Town. Holy shit, I missed that. That makes you pretty cool. What did you play? Did you play the accordion? Culo. Hello. Doesn't return to spawn. Let's go check on this guy. Because I think there's just a overall bug that gets triggered sometimes. So let us zone. Shaded dunes. A bodhran, Irish drum, and Guinness. Sounded like when I was in a band. What did I do? I drank the beer. All right, so the bug that we're going to investigate next is one that we've seen in the past with the guards. I don't know if you remember months and months ago, guards would attack something and not return home. I'm fairly certain that we're going to see something similar here with this guy, and I'm just going to label it as a... and I'll look into BugDB to see if there are other similar bugs still around, and if not, then I'll just I'll update the info on the bug and say that it's I think it's just a weird, pervasive, hard to reproduce issue. There are a lot of wandering mobs in Shaded Dunes. How do you feel about mob density? We'll probably tweak it. Also, keep in mind that we're probably going to redo the art in here at some point. This art is very much me doodling for a year and a half. Right? And so there'll probably be some changes. More so towards the zone line, looked very thick. I would say if we're just speaking generally, I'd be less worried about it around the zone line for the time being, at least. Just because it kind of acts as overflow for the newbie yard. And what we'll probably see is like a pyramid shape progression where this is a pyramid, or me giving some sort of a secret sign, or would a Hova, but it would Illuminati definitely confirmed. Here. There we go. Nicodemus says, like it though, what do you think new changing? Soon received on it. Okay, cool. So this game is pyramid scheme? Yes. And I'm at the top. Give me all your money. Zeitgeist. So anyway, just the fact of the matter is that in our Hova pyramid, we're gonna see the bulk of our players being in that point, and as it goes, as people progress, you're gonna see fewer and fewer people sort of progress at that same rate, and so there's always going to be that pyramid-shaped density, player density, until you start to see the accumulation again at the top, which would make it more of like an hourglass, I guess. Anyway, so low level, I'm actually more worried when we do the open play test. I'm more worried to see what happens with regards to newbie yard destruction and what we need to adjust the spawn rate to be to account for it. All right, so this guy, who, if you're just tuning in, I'll do this throughout the episode. We're working on getting things looking like this. So for the time being, we've broken a few things. So he won't look like an ICP character for super long. So let me hit this guy. Let me get him to follow me. Ooh, they're all following me. Don't you want to be a juggalo? I'm gonna kill these guys and loot their Faygo soda. Okay, aggro off. I'm no longer hostile. Now go home. I told you that the guy that helped me get into Variant was actually friends with them. I think I mentioned that before. Dave was friends with the ICP guys. And would hang out with him because he's really into producing. Awkward question. Do you have like sensitivity consultants from Arabic cultures for these areas, etc.? We have Arabic guys on the team, but I mean, they're not ultra sensitive, so we may have to... I'm just kidding. We would never look into sensitivity consultants. But Ali, Ali, believe it or not, ALI is I don't know. I don't know that I agree it's a good question, but we won't go too far off into the weeds. We try to just be sensitive people. So, Ali
For tea and memories in the morning.
Ali legitimately lives in Bahrain. He is. And so here's the thing. Ali actually likes... Next time he's on, you can ask him. I'm not bullshitting. Ollie loves the old sand giant, the EQ sand giant. He thinks it's hilarious. He loves it. And it's as stereotypical as could be, but he loves it. So what if we, you know, it'd be one of those things like, what if we put a sand giant in like that, and then it's like, everybody's like, oh my god. And keep in mind, our audience is 95% American, like the United States of America, American. But then it'd be like, uproar. And then we'd be like, but Ali said it was cool. I don't know. Would I be giving anything? I don't know. Can I? I have to ask Ali before I reveal that. Yeah, so on that front. So anyway, let's get away from that, because again, that's one of those. It's just one of those areas where it gets so goofy so quick. So let's switch back to making fun of juggalos, because apparently that's acceptable. Okay, this guy's stuck though. This guy's stuck. And so Ali is from Bahrain. He says it so much better than me though. Bahrain. And then Hamad is from Bahrain. So, you heard somewhere that Violent J has a heart failure? Oh, like he died or just had a heart attack? That's not good. Just finished a side project where sensitivity consultant pointed out there's a bunch of stuff I've done that is super problematic. But I guess this is like a new term for problematic. Probo. I don't know. I honestly can't keep up with Twitter and Tumblr these days. That needed redoing. But the question is it problematic for all the people or just for sensitivity consultants? All right. I'm sorry. We got to get away from this topic. Probo is Australian for problematic. Okay. We got to get out of here. We're in dangerous territory. Get to the choppers. Green Beardus Nudist Colony. Yes, that is what this is meant to be. It's different, but you don't live more than 5 or 6 years with heart failure where the heart is not pumping blood. Yeah, that sucks to hear, Justin. Is it fair to say it's a sensitive subject for you, Sean? You son of a bitch. John, you did it. Alright, so this guy does stick. So let's stats him. I'm so bad at following my own damn rules. I hate authority. Alright, so he does stick, but it's only him. So let's... Nicodemus? Dang it, now you're being insensitive. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. We need a new topic. Someone. Just ignore chat for like 3 minutes. No, because there's no telling what you people are going to be doing in there. It'll turn into... It'll turn into Australia. It'll just be anarchy. There'll be motorcycle gangs running down people on the streets. One lone anti-hero in his V8 Interceptor. Yeah, we were talking about the shape earlier, VGFX. how close are we with resuming creation of more player races now that Geo UV revamp is seemingly nearly done? I don't know, honestly. It's a good one for the team. We'll be getting gnomes back online. I'm assuming there's probably going to be adjustments to gnomes. I'm assuming there's probably going to be adjustments to ogres. After those two, yep. VGFX just said we need to propagate the changes to the existing races first. And then after that, then we'll probably drive forward again. CJack said, oh, I'm looking forward to buff Lady Barbarians. Lady Barians. So we don't have Barbarians. In the future, when we may do sort of subtle variations to humans, but we just kind of lumped them all into humans, and then we've got different cultures. The Sojourners will cover the Barbarian feel along with some other stuff. And so anyways, we've got that, but we do have really buff-ass female ogres. So if you haven't seen the female ogres, they're definitely strong. Have you seen them? How are the cheeseburgers in Europe? Depending on where you go, they're pretty decent. What was I doing here? Oh, this guy won't go back, and so I probably should look at... Does he have anything interesting going on with him? Data Dunes. A C-Jack. I'm not going to say that I can relate. How are you guys hooking sounds into the game? Straight through Unity, or is there middleware or more code free control? So we're using WYs. Robert, who does the music that hopefully you're able to hear in the background, and the other, yeah, in the other stuff. It's all going through WYs, which Robert's basically just been a pro at learning and getting stuff done in. So it's been really awesome. So Robert and Ollie integrated that, and Robert's been using it. So let's see what's going on with this gentleman. Eh? Why does he have these? So he's got a bunch of weird ass commands. Eh? Kimmery, thank you for 7 months. What is Robert doing now in the project? Soundbites? Last I saw, I thought he was doing another ambient track, and I'd have to look and see what he's been working on. Let me look, see if there's an update. I know he's also just taken some vacation. All of us have, not all of us, a few of us have been taking a little bit of time in the last month or so. What's up, D? Thank you for 10 months. How you doing? How you doing, boo? Where is he? Where is sound? Your baby got you sick? I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that for both of you. That's no fun. I thought I was getting sick the other day, man. And I was so bummed, but I was just hungover. Which I don't think is the case for your baby. But so listen, it's you're feeling she's fine now, but you're feeling better or not feeling better. What's up, D? Kimmery says, about to take my first vacation. Start of the month, EU for 3 weeks. First vacation over a decade. Badass. Congrats to you. That's exciting. You're just getting destroyed. Started today. Oh, shit, man. Getting sick sucks. 98%. But there's like 2% of me that really likes just bundling the F up. Just like taking every cover on the bed and just turning into a Sean burrito and just like getting the weird, like delusional, sweaty, what do they call that sleep when you're like sweaty and just, oh man, there's a term for it, like fever dreams. Oh man, he said this is the best time to join the stream. No, not vertigo, not vertigo. That's actually terrifying. That's not fun. You know the number one gift children give their parents? Sickness. Fantastic. Yeah, poor Ollie. He's getting sick all the time. He's got 2 little ones. As a person with a disability, I claim the right to bundle myself up as a burrito with every comforter in the house at any time, all the time. I've got to say, it's nice. Permission granted. I just can't do it because then I'd feel unproductive. I'm pretty sure that's what Jasmine thinks I do during the day. I just bundle up with all the comforters. So I haven't been that kind of sick since February of 2020. I really haven't gotten sick again since then, except for some allergies and I had the C19 during the last vacation, not this most recent one. But even that was like 2 days of sore throat, and that was it. Fortunately, my youngest is 13 now, so I don't get it as often as when they were younger. So I have it. Yeah, it's gnarly what you guys have to go through with the little chickens. Let's see. So what's going on here, and maybe this will wind up being the case, is this dude's got a lot of like random zone commands, and what I'm wondering is if I look in here and I go to zone spawn, let's see all, nope, 17. But that doesn't work worth the shit now, does it? Shaded. All right. So if I go to 17, it's clearly my guy. That's my guy. Now if I go to shaded again with the zone spawn commands, I put this guy in here, so I don't, but I tried to reuse, and these lower command numbers were, I think, part of the old Night Harbor. And so I think what's happened here is either there's just some weird data corruption that goes on, or these were old, but I swear I would have checked that. And this is nonsensical. It starts at index 8. 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18. So let's follow the path and see if we can make any sense of this really quick, but I think it's just garbage. Yep, I think this is the old Shaded Dunes path, back when Shaded Dunes and Night Harbor were one zone. All right, so we can just do this. What? Number 17, the best shaded. Are you just being silly, or is that a reference that I don't get? I very frequently don't get references. Just being silly? Okay, good. I always feel silly that I don't get the references. So anyways, what we're going to do here is, I think I'm going to be safe, because I honestly don't know how nicely the tool plays with the database. I'm going to turn off the zone spawners. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to just delete these. And I may delete them. You know what? I'm just going to delete them all. Oh, I can't. Or can I? Delete selected rows. Yes, these 9 rows. All of a sudden the power goes out in Night Harbor. I've broken everything. Alright. Refresh. Shaded. Faded. No Man Stream says, I got 3 kids. I'm currently on my 2nd penicillin clear, and I have sinusitis and eye inflammation. Sorry, eye infection. That sounds horrible. The children may be our future, but they're going to be the end of you guys for sure. So, I appreciate you taking one for the team. All right. So this guy looks normal again. Let's see what happens. Reload zone. Now it's going to be interesting if this fixes it, because I'm not 100% sure why it would be the cause. Let me turn aggro back on. Alright, let me turn aggro back off. And let me stop hitting. Hey Isan, what's up buddy? Yep. Fixed it. I mean, I don't know, maybe I didn't. I'll run the test a couple more times and see. Aggro back on. Gather up, ye fools. Checo in the Easter Brigade. Okay. Aggro back off. Hey, well, I already said, damn it, I almost said hey Vagrant twice, which isn't a bad thing. It's me being extra nice to you, I guess. Yep, Chico's going back, everybody's going back. All right, bug fixed. Bug fixed. We can... Did I not say it? Or did I just imagine saying it? I thought I said it. I thought I said, hey, Vagrant. And then I went back to doing this. I looked over and was like, hey, Vagrant. Did I not do it? Someone check the VOD. Probably didn't do it. Now that you mention it. Now I feel awkward. Deja vu. In my mind, maybe. Vagrant, I got you on my mind. Vagrant's on my mind. And that's been said 4 times. Just accumulating positive energy. Vagrant is the color of my energy. I didn't even have a Red Bull today. Can you believe it? Silly without the Red Bull. I'm working on it. I'm trying to better trying to be a better version of me. Boy, the children. Alright, so close issue. We fixed it. Jaco in the hunter camp now returns home after combat. All right. Let's find another bug. Aries thing assigned to unknown buffs filling. Unknown buffs filling buff list and not going away. I was wondering if that was a conditional one. Vagrant, can you feel the love tonight? Fairly certain that's related to conditional buffs. Though they should eventually go away. I'll look into that one separately. Okay, then honestly, I wrote this up. So conditional buffs really shouldn't show up, to be honest. They should be invisible to the client. The fact that they're not is something that we need to probably get some code support for. This weekend I made Conchinita Pibil. I think I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but close enough that you understand what it is. Anyways, slow roasted pork. But I didn't have annatto seeds, or however you pronounce it, so I had to freestyle it with some paprika and curcumin. It was 2 kilos of pork. So, needless to say, we had it Sunday, we had it yesterday, we're gonna have it again today. How sure do you like cooking? Can't fish anywhere in Night Harbor? Bug or intentional? That might have gotten fixed when... Do I even have that skill? Fishing. SI. Well, we can fly over to the fishing dude. I'm trying to remember how fishing gets started. I don't have it as a skill. So weird. When fishing first went in, I was able to use it, and since then I've completely vapor locked on how to actually get it going. Esan said, I've slowly discovered that cooking has helped alleviate my PTS. Definitely not as much as hiking, but yes. I just find it so... It's just so relaxing and satisfying because I like eating, right? I like feeding people. I like the smells. I like the process. I like the sort of... the thing that you do as you're getting ready to like set things up. There's, for me at least, it's a order of operations thing where I've got a feel for the timing on different things, so I know when to start something and then start the next thing. I like that it's tangible and mechanical. I like that there's a bit of chemistry involved, but it's like flavor chemistry. There's a bit of cartography involved. That's how you get to Flavor Town. Right? Like, there's a bunch going on there, so I'm definitely a fan. Introduction to fishing. I wrote this. It's not real. It doesn't actually teach you fishing. I should probably take it out at some point. Bye. Oops. Alright, so I got these guys. But I don't remember how to, like, I don't remember what I need to do to use it. You guys are like, do you even know anything about this game? No, I really don't. Okay, that used to be like 40 million platinum though. And that's how long it's been since I've tried fishing. Yeah, get away from me. Kind of freaky looking at night. Alright, so let's try this. B. Gills. Fishing. I cast my line. Dargit says, Sean, I'd like to introduce you to this cool new game in development. It's called Monsters and Memories. Have you heard of it? I have not heard of it. When can I play? When alpha? When alpha? When alpha? I don't even know what it is, but when alpha? Did I get the order wrong? Is that what confused you? Alpha win? Yes. So bad at quotes. You guys got quiet. What happened? Did your coffee wear off? Mine hasn't. Weaklings. Weaklings. Are you pretending to do actual work? Mm-hmm. You might as well tab right back on over. Hang out with me. Do we plan on having fishing be more complex, like adding minigame for casting reel or catching fish, or will it stay simple button press and wait style? It'll stay this way for now, but honestly, depending on which one of us you asked, we'd love to do a bunch of over time. We'd like to just invest a little bit more in all of the trade skills in different ways, and we may find that ultimately just kind of pressing weights just works best, but kind of like, you know, simple fishing game mechanics and stuff. So we'll see. I can make no promises other than to say that you know, there's definitely a faction within the greater Niche Worlds cult organization, which is natural when you're a company of massive scale like ours. Things tend to get factionalized and political, I know. But there's a little guerrilla group within our organization that could, you know, maybe deal with a little minigame. So that's a strong, maybe. Don't know. Can't fish here. All right. Proven. But I can swim here. But I can't fish here. What's up with that? I mean, both work and have their perks. Just curious to which direction you guys are aiming for. This type of MMO tends to lean more towards click and wait style, but I also love minigame aspect. Yeah, so the problem with minigames can be... One, they can just, you know, they can get tedious over time. They can also, I guess, because that stuff's probably happening client side, there's probably some little hacks or apps or whatever that can be done to screw with it. Yeah, so I don't know. You know, it's the same thing with like picking locks and other stuff. So we'll really have to see. I'm personally somebody that doesn't even mind like EverQuest trade skills, to be honest, with all its simple clicking. Especially with the changes they made on TLP. So if we default to something simpler, I'm never personally sad. Especially if it just means we can get it done. But yeah, we'll see. Can I swim, harpoon mobs, and drag them to shore to murder at some point? D Loves Pudding says. Is it because you're sick? Is that why such bad images are in your mind? Is it because you got the flu? Any underwater dungeons? Not yet. Though we may throw an underwater section in one of the dungeons just to show you that it exists. But not yet. But there probably will be. Sean, what do you see the area in FNF that needs the most attention before public testing? Honestly, it's a great question, BDC Retro. My thought on the public test is this, and it's strictly my thought. I'm not speaking for the rest of the team in any way. My thought with it is we really just need to frame it as what it is, which is we want to see what happens when we get a decent number of folks on and see what happens on the tech side, so we've got an understanding there. Because we can get feedback on content. We're getting great feedback and bugs and all sorts of stuff on gameplay and content from friends and family. But yeah, we essentially, Kimry just said a stress test. Yeah, the one thing that's hard to replicate is stressing the system. It would be nice to get the characters back to looking like they should before then. You know, there's some low level first 15-30 minutes sort of player facing stuff that we want to knock out. I'm sure there's some little gameplay changes and stuff to do before then, but it's hard for me to like hone in and go, this is critical for it at the moment, just because I think there's so many things that if it's not framed properly, people will just like hone in on stuff, and it's like, yeah guys, it's super early. So, which, you know, naturally, and I think I mentioned this in this most recent update, right? Like, if people look at it, one danger for us is people look at it and they're like, they haven't been a part of the community, or for whatever reason they just can't understand that we're doing this way earlier than most teams would, you know. And it's possible that they'd be like turned off on the game or whatever. But I think if those people have kind of shown that they're not paying attention enough to understand that it is a stress test, and that certain things are going to look kind of scuffed or whatever, then I also think that you know, those people, we've got time for them to get with the program later as we continue to work on the game. It sounds like they need to, their understanding of the game needs to stay in the oven a little bit longer. Darthu713, thank you for the follow. Hey, Monty. Do you have an expected number of players you think you'll see during the public test, or at least a number that you're aiming for? It would be cool if we have more than 100. Let's just start there. I've had some insight into other stress tests, especially very, very early, kind of like initial, let's just see what's going on with tech type stress tests. And a couple hundred would be super solid, so. So let's start there. We'll be sending an email. You'll hear it here first. Anybody watching this or watching the VOD, we'll be sending an email out to friends and family folks and posting on the Discord for them that we would like to run two-hour stress tests this weekend. So Friday night and Saturday night. We've done the timing so that it's convenient for people in North America. So the email will basically say, I think we're shooting for, let me look. And like I said, this email needs to go out. Hopefully it'll go out today to everybody on the FNF invite list. So it should be March 10th and 11th, Friday and Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m. Central. So that way there's a little bit on either side. We're just trying to, because of the spread, which means I think I'm getting up at like 3 in the morning or something, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning to hop in. But the goal will be to see how many friends and family people we can get in there. And that will be like our initial just sort of check on this topic to see what we're missing. So I'll get that email out to today, hopefully. Dorothy said, sweet, I was hoping to hear more about this game. Do you know anything about it? Have you been to our website? Have you joined our Discord? And then we post our VODs on YouTube. And we have a mailing list. So those 4 links can help get you started. But other than that, ask away. Do what we can. Slowly followed from afar, but need to get on Discord. Now's the time to do it. We had a bunch of people join Discord last couple of days. And we thought maybe it was because the update got posted on on Massively OP. You've played EQ for years and tried many of the older MMOs. Well, it sounds like we would be up your alley then. We are definitely big fans of the old MMOs. Let me see. So I have proven that you cannot fish anywhere in Night Harbor. So let me see if there are any additional notes. There's a volume type fishing volume that must be added to the water volumes. Also requires population of zone fishing table. Okay. All right. I'm not going to mess with Night Harbor's scene file probably, but I can at least check and see. Oops. Stop running. Can we use those catapults to get across the dunes? Only if you are a gnome. And I mean that in a positive way, not in like a John and Dargith kind of picking on gnomes sort of way. Let's look at these volumes. You feel like you're being typecast? John, how in the world did that happen? He's saying 5'5". I may happen to be in home IRL. Justin, I think Justin still got you beat. I thought Justin said he was 5'4". John said, I'd say we'd be back on that sensitivity talk and, well, don't start, John. John, I'm just going to tell you to toughen up. How's that sound? All right, so neither one of these have it. I am tough. Wipes away here. You missed a question about harpoons. The illness has taken you. You think you blanked out? You're the one that asked the question, though. I just my assumption was when you asked the question that you were in the process of blacking out. So zone shaded dunes. Oh, Cindercroft. Dirthu, did that is that enough info? Do you have any other questions? Absolutely enough to get you going? Right on. Well, you can always come back. I'll be back Thursday. Or you can see us in Discord. Yeah, so on the topic, was it UBDC Retro? On the topic of public playtest, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot, right? Like it could. There's no telling. Oh, my posture. There's no telling how people respond to it. It could work out favorably, right? I mean, it's pretty finite number of things can happen. People could come in. We're going to keep it, pretty time constrained. People could come in and go, oh wow, all right, this plays better and feels better than we would have imagined, and boom, big plus. They could come in and I guess think, hey, if they're willing to have a playtest, they must be further along than they are or something. And folks could be like, oh, and find a bunch of negatives, and then that starts to circulate and become kind of the mood or whatever. And so, okay. Yeah, there's really no telling. I think a lot of people will come in hopefully and just kind of look and go, okay, well, we see, this is real. The stress test, we never know. I mean, it could, everything could be super stable and work fine, and that'd be awesome. Which I think that in and of itself would be huge. Stuff could go sideways, and we could have server issues or whatever. But then that'll be good learnings, because we wouldn't have had those otherwise, because we're probably not seeing those same issues in friends and family. So that's what we're there for. Yeah, and people could potentially just see that stuff and just kind of go, oh, okay, cool, that's where they're at, and they still need some time, and it's just cool. All right, so this is what it's supposed to look like. Cool. Let me grab this really fast. And yeah, but no matter what happens, we still have a game to make. So if everybody's hyped and they're like, oh my god, it's great, release tomorrow. We can't. We've got to finish the game. If everybody's like, oh, boo, we put all of our eggs in your basket and look what you did. Look what they did to my boy. Or whatever it is. Yeah, then it doesn't... We still got a game to make. Either way, we've got a game to make. That's just that's the reality of it. Do you consider this to be the next Elden Ring? Nope. Still gonna make ship-to-ship combat? Oh, yeah. Eventually. Oh, knows you stole our megahertz. He's saying, what does that mean? Let me add this. And then let me look at how that hooks up in the database. I don't know. I bet Pattis is teaching or something. Pattis, you wouldn't happen to still be in chat, would you? Okay, so this isn't too bad to set up. Honestly, if I wasn't so... I'm so nervous about screwing with Night Harbor these days. Otherwise, I would just fix it. Maybe I should just do it and stop being so afraid. Alright. Well, we've got this for now. I'll comment this, so at least I've got that for later. And then maybe I'll fix it offline. If you break something now, it's recorded and then back out steps are therefore documented. Oh, I don't think I could break anything too terribly bad. I mean, the team could, you know, get through anything I break. I've definitely done worse. I'm not super worried about that. It's just, I know that I'm very distracted when I'm streaming and it's all your fault. So I will see about doing that later. I can go ahead and set up the data now though. Let's just go ahead and set up the data. Easily John's fault. Biggs, it's true. Gula Gula said, I'll take the blame gladly. Thank you. That's what we need more of. Team players. And we're gonna name that volume 1, right? So it's the same water. Oops, I need to make that unique though. I know, stop yelling at me. We'll do this from now on. It sucks that there's no shortcut for duplicate row with keys. It's a bit of an oversight. Maybe I should mention that to the developer when I donate again and ask for my code. Cool. So the data's there. We just need to add the volume. Or add the phishing script to the volume. Then that'll fix that. Dargus said, I've learned that taking the blame is such a useful tool for resolving conflicts, especially when you've got two people or groups irrationally afraid of consequences that likely don't exist. Yep, it was my fault. Now how do we fix it? Dude, entirely. So speaking with that class yesterday, we hit on a bit of that. Because they're like, you know, what are some things you should do as like a new developer? And, you know, one of the big ones for me was just be open, learn how to work well with others, accept responsibility, take ownership of you know, essentially everything. The best, I think it may have been Jocko in like Extreme Ownership or something. I think the example he used was like, if you're walking through the office and there's a candy wrapper on the floor, and you just walk past it instead of picking it up and throwing it away, that's a sign that you don't think of the company as yours, right? Because if you own the company, you would pick it up. I would hope. Like if it was a candy wrapper laying on my floor in the apartment, then I would pick it up. And so, you know, just having that mindset of treating the company, even if you hate the place, treating it like let me switch that so that I'm not telling you what to do. Treating the company, even if I hated the place, is my own. One, it's just good form. So even if I'm like, this company sucks, try to be a decent employee all the way out the door. But then, you know, other people see that. Plus, it just makes me feel better. But yeah, Dargith, that whole like, yep, I'll take the blame for it. Can we move on now? It's been helpful in the past. Not saying I'm perfect at it, but scroll, dispel magic, and abolish magic are on the paladin spell vendor. Should they not have it? Item. Oops. Squirrel. Squirrel. There we go. Class mask. Yeah, taking the blame and finding ways to improve it without it looking like you're blaming that lack or problem. Clarify for me, No Man's Sky. Taking the blame, finding ways to improve it without it looking like you're blaming. I get the gist. I was just going to give you an opportunity. I think you're saying essentially, if you take the blame or find a way to improve it, without looking like you're blaming other folks, then it's a positive. Absolutely. Big said, I want to do dungeon design. Do MMO studios usually have a dungeon designer specific role? No clue how to actually make one using proper tools, but I think it'd be cool to do. When you say design, are you thinking you want to make the art? Do you want to do the actual layout, like flow and fictional design? Define the aesthetics more than create the aesthetics, potentially? Or do you want to develop encounters, raids, do population work? Sometimes you'll see an overlap, or you'll see level designers and encounter designers or scenario designers or population implementers or whatever all be one role, depending on the size of the team. Sometimes it gets broken out a bit. Basically, design the layout of the dungeon. And is that with sort of a mind for like what lives there and what the story is? Is it that type of thing? Kimry said, hey, encounter designer. That's what I am. See? All right, so class mask 14092. Unfortunately, I don't think our mask tool lets us go in reverse. I don't believe so. I'll double check it, but I don't think so. 140. No, can't put no numbers in there. So who would have it? Yeah, there's, I don't know that I can, let me see if there's, is it listed here somewhere? In the tags, maybe. Okay, thanks, Nick. Nick said class match should not matter for the scrolls. You want ability class table to see if a class can use an ability. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let me open that in another. It's something that you could probably just answer off the top of your head, but I figured I'd at least poke at it and see if I learned something. Which now I have. Dispel magic, ability class table. Oh, that's frickin' handy. Cleric, druid. Nope, they shouldn't have it. And let's also look at oops. That's not what we're looking for. That's still not what we're looking for. Okay, it shouldn't be on there. Cool.
Hey Sean, was just checking out this month's newsletter. Loving the new concept art. Great stuff.
Dude, Dev, thank you very much for that. Thank you for 2 months. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, the concept art in there is fantastic. Cool. Well, let me fix that vendor then. Merchant sell. Abolish magic. Delete this. Dispel magic. Delete this. Cool, fixed. Another bug down. Organization. Paladin. Merchant. No longer sells. Dispel and abolish magic. Thanks again, Nick. No longer. That's actually a really handy one to know. Dispel and abolish. Cool. Close issue, and we'll go just double check that the fix worked. So where am I at? I'm not even in the right zone. So Big said, more just like a template for the layout of the dungeon. I don't think I'm creative enough to figure out the lore attached though. All right, so more focused on level design. Just kind of strict level design. Which depending on the MMO, I feel like there's different schools of level design that, you know, certain styles of games benefit more than others. So something like an FPS, especially one that's multiplayer PvP FPS, the amount of just time and iteration and thought that goes into level design is insane. I was at Certain Affinity very briefly, and they handle a lot of the multiplayer maps for other teams. And so whether it's Call of Duty or whatever, right? Like, a lot of games would make the single player campaign and then they would outsource the multiplayer level design to Nick. The actual spell was the actual bug was scroll dispel magic and scroll abolish magic are all on the paladin spell vendor. So I was just like, all right, fix it. That seems easy enough. Assuming that was actually a bug, but the fact that they don't have it, I guess, made it seem like it was a bug. But you'll be doing a pass on who can use dispels, cures, etc. So it's fine. Okay, cool. But yeah, so anyway, like those guys, the company started because the founder, Max Hoberman, was the original Halo multiplayer designer. And so then when he left there, he started a company in Austin. So anyways, and they would work on like 5 maps, but it would take them a while, just tons of iteration. Whereas in open world games or certain MMOs or, other games that are maybe a little more loosey-goosey with it, there are definitely a lot of principles and best practices and ideas to incorporate there, but sometimes you can make an imperfect dungeon and still feels badass. So anyway, that's just me rambling on the topic. Kimmery said to Biggs, as an example, you can have a concept artist draw the idea of the dungeon, level designer builds the layout and engine, world builder then makes it pretty. Fiction designer would do the lore, content designer would do quest, encounter designer would do encounters and boss. Yep. And Big said that's a whole lot of designers. Excuse me, I think level designer sounds right. On a lot of teams that aren't like 300 people, what you'll find is you'll probably have concept artists as a separate person, and you'll probably have the environment artist or world builder as a separate person, and then you'll often see on design, you'll have somebody that's essentially level designer, narrative or fiction designer, content designer, encounter designer, all kind of in one package, and they're often collaborating with these other 2 folks. So and that's the way it worked a lot in EQ, DC. At King's Isle, we actually had separate narrative designers, and they tended to work with the environment artist with a little bit of the designer, content designer working with them. Is kind of a weird setup. All right, so that's fixed. You talked about hidden buffs. Will there also be like moods or something like that? A hidden character suddenly feels great mood or sunrise mood, or like different personalities for NPCs, or having that impact a player character. No Man's Stream. Jedis says, speaking of merchants, at one point EQ made all guild masters and merchants not attackable. This means you can be KOS and stand right next to either and they won't aggro. Will you be able to aggro merchants? Yes. Vagrant said, Biggs, Unreal Engine's pretty easy place to mess around with the level editor type tools, basic walls, blocks, etc. Yeah, if you're looking to learn, I would say Unreal works. I've been happy with Unity and World Builder, or Pro Builder. Sorry, Pro Builder is what we've done a lot of this in. Though we'll eventually be exporting this and cleaning it up in like Maya and then re-importing it. But it's been pretty easy to use. There's definitely there's great info out there for best practices. In terms of choke points and sight lines and creating certain features that leave you, but potentially setting it up so that you're thinking of flow best practices depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Oh, you mean No Man's Stream said impact carry being soaked in heavy rain, going to sunny weather, things like that. There's no immediate plans, but you never know what we may think to add later. We definitely we've definitely talked a lot about just continuing as opportunities allow, like when we're further in development or when after we've gone live, continuing to add things that add sort of richness or depth to the experience instead of just making numbers bigger, making world bigger. So we'll see. Whatever's not in when we go live, we still have a lot of opportunity to layer in those things over time. D said he loves Velks. In Velius, not because it's a fun zone with all its icy floors and death from running off a high ledge, or because it's invisible mobs, but simply because the mobs don't run and can be pretty easily single pulled or split. Enchanter's Playground. I don't know. I was always too busy just falling off and dying, embarrassing myself. Pretty sure that's what I liked about being back with the Kobolds. I don't think I could fall off anything because I wasn't pulling. Alright, so what else? Am I missing anything major? No, I can't. I was just tagged. Those of you that like EQ, I almost forgot, but I just saw here. Nick posted something really cool in our Slack. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to post it for you. See if you guys are aware of it. Called EQ Guesser. Are you guys aware of this thing? Are we late to the party? Yeah, leaderboards would be awesome. That makes a lot of sense, Cam Bam. It's really worth checking out. Those of you that don't know and you're on the fence or whatever, here, I'll show you. So essentially you go here. And when you play, you got the number of rounds, whether or not there's a time limit, whether or not you can pan, zoom, and then you guess locations. I'm not going to play it because I'm embarrassed myself. You guys will be like, how did you not know that? So then it just puts you, oh, right. So it puts you in an environment. We know this is Kedge. This can't be Yurden. This gotta be Kedge, no? Okay. All right. So, and then you come over here to the map and you can zoom in. And then you've got to figure out which of these rooms you're like, and typically it's something that's a camp, right? So most of you will just immediately know it because you're like, oh, I camped there. Right? So, but you may not. So like I said, I'd be embarrassed because I'm like, I don't. Like GeoGuessr? Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I guess so. So do you guys know where this is? I know it's in Kedge. I just don't know where. Is it here? Anyways, I'll show you. I'll submit my guess, and then what it does is it looks how close you are, and then it gives you points that vary based on how close you are. So it was actually over here. So. And then boom, it tells you what was there. Cool. So check it out. The link's up there. If you're into EQ, it's definitely worth your while. Zukin got perfect score. Let's see. All right, so... Oh, shit, it's 5 o'clock. Well, I'll open it. I'll look at another bug just so I've got it up on here. Everything assigned to me. Cool. All right, guys. Time has flown. Those of you, if you're brand new here, you don't know what we're doing. We're working on Monsters and Memories. I really need to remember to do all of this during the stream a lot better, but time just flies. Pupper time? Where you at, Runes? There he is. There's my boy. Boom. There he is. Let's see how you look on the camera, buddy. Let me minimize this. Oh, there he is. All right. Isan, thank you for being here. Corthan, thank you. So yeah, that's our project up there. Join our Discord. You probably want to be on our mailing list, and we'll get the VOD up sometime soon. If you came in late or whatever, you can watch it on Twitch. And then we'll get it up on YouTube. Yeah, Nicodemus, he's always prepared, well groomed. Where are you going, buddy? There he is. John, you're welcome. Take care. BDC Retro. See ya. Ishwatari hat gesagt, super interessant Stream heute. Bis bald. Bis Donnerstag. Tschüss. Chaz Solo. Have a great one, Sean and Pupper. You too. Thank you very much. DDJ. You have a wonderful day as well. Nicodemus, I will see you on Thursday. Rune, we got to work on our posture, buddy. All right. Okay, guys. If that's it for today, then we'll get out of here. I will walk the dog and get dinner prepped, and I will see you on Thursday. Thank you everybody for being here. You are awesome. All right. Oh god. Bye-bye. See you, Cam Bam.